23rd Sunday in Ordinary Time, Jesus is back challenging us to love just on such a deeper level and to leave behind, even the relationships that we love in this life. And it's one of these mysterious ones where, he uses this language like you got to hate your family and even yourself, to come to love me. And, language is a funny thing, but the fact of it is, he calls us to be prepared to leave behind anything and anyone that holds us back from loving him completely. And, it's just an interesting tension between that call on our lives and the lived experience of love in St. Paul. Who talks so much about knowing the love of other people because of the hope held in store in eternal life. Here in the letter to Philemon, he's sharing with him that he's become so close with Onesimus. He's become so close as a spiritual father, as a friend. He's loved so deeply, so intimately, that it's as if he's giving his own heart away as he sends Onesimus back to Philemon. And it seems like there's just such a tension between, how can St. Paul love with such heart when Jesus calls us to, even hate our own family for the sake of him? And, is St. Paul, rejecting the gospel? And, the reality is not at all. It is a bit of a mystery, right? It is. And again, starts with that language that Jesus uses. But, in being prepared to sacrifice the relationships that hold us back from loving God completely, we give our lives over to the Lord, and he fills us in such a way that oftentimes, our hearts are I don't know, they have the capacity to love in such a deeper way than they could before, when we were attached in an earthly way, and give us the freedom to love with such delight and purity and strength and hope as St. Paul does Onesimus. And it's kind of wild because it's a little bit of it's a spiral, right? So we sacrifice, we give our love to God, he gives his love back to us, which allows us to love better in other people. And then where do we end up? We end up back at the cross. We end up back at the sacrifice. And this is part of the mystery that the greater we love, the more we love on earth, the greater sacrifice it is yet again when that person, or when we part from that person, almost as if our heart is separated from us. I hope you have the opportunity in your life, to love like that in some way, spouse or child or friend, whatever it is, but to know the sorrow of parting so deeply, it's as if you gave your own heart away. But that's the cross, and that's the Paschal mystery. We may suffer it, here in this life, but we'll also get it back in God's love, and we'll also get the whole thing back, everything back. The love of people in this life, and most certainly the fulfillment of God's life and love in the fullness of life in heaven. But as we grow in love with God, again, it's a spiral that goes deeper and deeper into the mystery of life and love and cross and resurrection and delight and difficulty, and ultimately, with the hope that he has held in store for us. We look up to the cross, we look up to the end, and we keep going. We keep going on this journey of life, of sacrifice, love, sacrifice. And just look forward to the fulfillment of those same delights in the joy and the peace of eternal life.